Sit on a chair or a flat surface. Bend your knees to 90 degrees and loop a towel or untied resistance band around your foot. Sitting upright, straighten your knee against resistance of the band. You should feel a tightening of muscle at the front of your thigh. Keep tension on the band so you still have resistance, controlling your return into a bent knee position. Repeat on the other side. When performing this exercise, be careful to avoid slouching your back. Keep your core muscles firm, sit upright, and maintain consistent speed and resistance throughout the range of motion of the exercise. Don't reduce tension or control as you return your leg to the start position. Position a firm kitchen or dining room chair 2 foot lengths away from the edge of a table. Stand in front of the chair with the back of your legs touching the seat and your feet hip width apart. Place your hands on the table for balance. The movement is as if you were going to sit in the chair. Bend an equal amount at your knees and hips. Keep your core muscles firm, lean your trunk forward, and aim your buttocks to the back corner of the seat until you're about half the distance to the chair, a quarter squat. Pause and rise to standing upright. As you bend and straighten, make sure your knees continue to track over your second toe to avoid their collapsing inwards or bowing outwards. For a bit more of a challenge, hover your hands above the table, reaching forward as you bend. This will help balance as you bend further to almost touch the chair with your buttocks, not quite a half squat position. Remember to reach forward with an equal bend at both the hips and knees. You want to avoid keeping your trunk upright and not moving your hips back enough. Be careful not to bend only at the hips. Make sure your knees bend as well, but don't let them collapse inwards. Keep your core muscles firm and your knees pointed over your second toe should help. Stand upright in front of a table or a counter, hip width apart with your hands on the counter. Slide one leg back, keeping the ball of your foot in contact with the floor. Most of your weight will be on the front leg. This exercise follows the same movement pattern as the quarter squat, but most of your weight will remain on the front leg. Keeping your core muscles firm, bend an equal amount at the knees and hips. Lean your trunk forward and aim your buttocks back as if you were going to sit. Bend to a 45-degree angle, a quarter squat position. Pause and rise to upright, standing position. As you bend and straighten, make sure both knees track over your second toe. Repeat on the other side. As with the quarter squat with the chair, avoid keeping your trunk upright and not moving your hips back enough. Remember to bend equally at the knees and don't let your knees collapse inward. For this exercise, you want to ensure that the weight stays forward and doesn't shift towards your back leg. Maintain most of the weight on your front leg at all times, keeping your core muscles firm and your knee pointed over the second toe. Stand at the bottom of a set of stairs or a step with a handrail or wall for support. Place your right foot up on the step. Tighten your core muscles and slightly lean forward at the waist, raising your left foot up by straightening your knee and trunk. Pause. Lower your left foot back down to the ground slowly. When raising and lowering or bending and straightening, make sure that your knee remains over your second toe. Check that your pelvis remains level, especially when lowering back to the start position. Repeat on the other side. If it's difficult to maintain a good position, start stepping up on a large phone book or other firm surface that's about half the height of a step. To increase difficulty, use less hand support. We still suggest, however, everyone use a handrail while doing regular stairs as a risk management strategy to limit falls. Avoid tipping your pelvis or leaning your trunk to one side to step up and down to compensate for weak muscles, and be careful not to collapse in at the knee of your supporting leg. Lower down by bending the hip and knee of the supporting leg rather than reaching with the descending leg, and keep your knees pointed over your second toe. Sitting in a firm chair, straighten your right leg until the knee is 45 degrees from fully straight, keeping your heel on the floor. Push your heel into the floor for a count of 3. Repeat on the other side. To progress to resistance through range, sit on the edge of a chair, bending your left knee to at least 90 degrees so that the foot of your supporting leg is flat on the floor. Straighten the knee of your right leg, keeping only your heel in contact with the floor. Press your right heel into the floor while bending your right knee, dragging your heel back until both your feet are in the same position. Repeat on the other side. Stand in front of a table or countertop for hand support. With your core muscles tightened, raise your heel towards your buttocks, bending at the knee. Keep your pelvis level and your bent knee pointing towards the ground. Then slowly lower your foot back to the start position in a controlled manner. Repeat on the other side. If you experience a muscle cramp, don't bend your knee as far. Place a chair in front of, but a few feet away from a heavy, well-fixed object that you can loop a resistance band around. For example, a furniture leg or a post. Sitting in the chair, keep your left leg bent with your foot flat on the floor for support. Straighten your right leg, placing the heel of your extended leg in the band. Now bend your right knee, keeping your foot on the ground as you bring it towards you. Pause and release slowly. While standing in front of a table or counter with your hands supported, place the loop of a resistance band under your right foot so you're standing on it, and the other side of the loop around your left ankle. Keep your core muscles tightened and your pelvis level. Raise your left heel towards your buttocks, bending at the knee. Your right leg should remain straight and your left knee should remain pointing towards the ground. Slowly lower your foot to the starting position in a controlled manner. Repeat on the other side. If you experience a muscle cramp, especially at the back of your thigh, don't bend as far, or instead use an easier resistance band. Sit on a chair or flat surface such as the edge of a bed with a towel or untied resistance band looped around the ball of your right foot. Pull the band or towel, flexing your foot towards you. Press your foot against the towel or band, pushing it away from you. Maintaining resistance, return your foot to the start position in a controlled manner. Repeat on the other side. Standing in front of a counter for support, tighten your core muscles and slowly raise both heels off the ground as far as possible so you're standing on the balls of your feet. Pause at the top and slowly lower back down. Take care not to roll over to the inside or outside of your foot by keeping your weight evenly distributed between your big toe and little toe. To practice your balance, lessen your hand support on the countertop. To further increase the level of difficulty, perform this exercise standing only on one foot. Repeat on the other side. Position yourself in front of a counter for support and stand on your right leg. Bend your right hip and knee to about 30 degrees. Next, straighten your right hip and knee while raising your heel off the floor. Pause at the top Then lower back down to the start position in a slow and controlled manner. Repeat on the other side. When you're raising and lowering or bending and straightening your leg, make sure your knee remains over your second toe and doesn't collapse inwards or bow outward.